Good evening and welcome to A Cook's Tour with Rocket and our cocktail pairing masterclass with Johan Svensson from Drinks Fusion. Hi Johan.
Good evening, great to be here.
Great to see you. Now, what are you going to be rustling up for us this evening?
Well, this evening we're going to be doing something very special. We're going to do a twist on the classic Paloma cocktail, which is as classic Mexican as you can get. But we're going to use, obviously, a Oaxaca twist on it, and also a bit of a seasonal twist of what's available in the market at the moment. So, we're going to be using, instead of tequila, which is quite often used to make a Paloma cocktail, we're going to be using mezcal. Mezcal really is the spirit of the region. It's as Oaxaca as it's going to get. And Alipus is a fantastic mezcal full of wonderful flavors and big and powerful, so it's going to be absolutely beautiful to use for it. And so you have two bottles in your boxes. Yeah,
what's in this bottle here that looks a bit like a potion?
So yes, this little hero ingredient here is a blend of Alipus mezcal and a schnapps from Sweden, of all places.
Naturally.
Funny that happens. And it is a schnapps flavored with bitter orange and a little bit of warming spices, so it should be absolutely beautiful together with it. And then the second bottle here is a homemade fermented blood orange and rhubarb soda.
Wow.
Which is using a Himalayan kombucha base and also sweetened with a bit of British borage honey.
Wow, and this is completely unique to Drinks Fusion.
Completely unique. It's made specifically for this using seasonal ingredients. So traditionally a Paloma will be having pink grapefruit, but we're going to use blood orange and rhubarb from Yorkshire. The blood orange is from Yorkshire, that's from Sicily, but the rhubarb is. So it's a fantastic seasonal blend to it. So the first thing we're going to do is move this a little bit to the side and take a long glass, fill it up with ice. Now, as always, as I say, ice is your friend. I do, yes. Ice is your friend. I've been told that's a bit weird. But it is a saying I have. And because the ice controls your dilution. Oh, yes.
Come on, we're gonna make
you can ice that up. So ice really is absolute key ingredient when it comes to drinks making, because what it does is controls your level of dilution. So lots of ice means that you get more intensity. A little bit of ice, it melts quicker and it gets watery very fast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're going to take, once it's filled up with ice, we're going to take 50 ml, so half of this bottle pretty much, of your potion here, your Oaxaca mix. Pour it over. I'll do this one, Charlie.
You do.
Yeah, bit of a steady hand on there. There we go. And then we're going to cut a lime in half. Because even if your soda is have a lovely freshness in the center, nothing beats a bit of freshly squeezed lime. I usually call it the magic fruit, because lime has this ability, and also it's very Mexican, right? But it has an ability to really open up flavors. So a couple of fresh drops like this, just a half, and I'm using this professional squeezer here, so I'm cheating a little bit, but you can just sort of use your fingertips as well.
Perfect. So half a lime squeezed into each glass.
Yes, literally half a lime, and I thought, you can have a go as well if you like.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, go on.
I've got one of these toys at home, and I have to say they're really good.
They are. They're particularly if we're doing a few hundred of these at events, which was,
I don't think I helped myself out by putting this cube on top, did I? But anyway.
No, I think it's working pretty well. So then we're taking the second bottle, which is the fermented blood orange and rhubarb kombucha, if you like, or grapefruit soda, blood orange soda. Twist on a grapefruit soda. God, I lose track of it. And just open it. So when you open it, make sure it's cold. And just gently, so it doesn't fizz up too much, because it's fermented, so it can be a little bit active.
Well, it's essentially alive, isn't it?
Yes, it is, completely. And it's just naturally fermented with the kombucha. So it's about 2 weeks it's been fermenting.
Wow.
And you top it up like this.
Do you sort of love and nurture it every day?
Yes, exactly.
And do you talk to it?
You do talk to it.
Sweet nothings.
Yes, you do indeed, and you make sure it's all the temperature is right and all these kind of things. And really, it's a labour of love, you know. And it sits there and it talks back to you, sort of bubbles a little bit, fizzes a bit, depending on what mood.
When you've had a few too many, perhaps.
And then, obviously, your mezcal and liqueur base is at the bottom here.
Yeah.
So you want to put your spoon down, stir it gently. And now you can see, with lots of ice here, you actually get a really good balance, because you get a good concentration of your flavors. Whereas if I've had very little ice, it will just melt very quickly, and you will lose a lot of that wonderful flavors from the mezcal and the.
Well, fabulous colours, and particularly for sort of late February, we're so close to knocking on spring, and I think it's great to see some.
Exactly, and what's really great is we do have some fantastic colours available through the blood orange and the rhubarb. I mean, it's a season that's going to get. So we're very lucky in sort of February to have that.
And as ever, you're going to garnish with all your beautiful flowers.
So we have an absolute and a tribute to the wonderful colours of Oaxaca. We're going to use a whole array of beautiful,
stunning
dried fruits and blossoms.
Yeah.
And also maybe a little bit of tribute to February, keeping it slightly dried. So you can just really garnish this as you like, a little bit of wonderful colors, whatever you think. So these are hand pressed flowers actually. To sort of, should we get something big, slightly greenish in here maybe?
Come on, go for it, Johan.
Something like that?
Yeah, this is your moment.
This is, exactly.
And are those little petals lurking in the glass jar?
It is. Yeah. They are dried rose petals, mix of different rose petals actually. So they, I think, would be pretty beautiful for it. And that's,
what's that? Is that fennel?
It's dried bronze fennel, yes.
Right.
So here, we can spill a little. We can spill a little bit, add a little bit of colour. So yeah, there you go. Actually, yes, you're right. Let's get them in the glass, shall we?
You've been watching Ryan White.
I have a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit. We miss having him here, don't we?
We do.
So yes, really with the garnish, just colourful, a little bit chaotic, organised chaos, and there you go. And what I would say is when you taste the drink, the trick to make sure you get your balance right, is you put your finger on the top, and you go like that, and that's your little trick of the trade test.
And is the chef happy?
Chef's very happy.
Good.
So I think you should try it.
I'd love to. And I hope everyone at home has managed to create a cocktail as stunning as this. Let me have a quick go. Oh, that's brightening things up already.
So what you should get, what are you getting? Do you think it's, what's the big flavours here?
Well, I mean, I can definitely taste the tequila coming through.
Ooh, the tequila. So, that's the mezcal.
The mezcal, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I can definitely taste that sort of base note coming through. But then you've got that lovely sort of citrus, and there's some floral notes in there, and there's a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly say what it is. So you just said tequila. It's a very common mistake that it's a fantastic drink, but it's Jalisco, and it's also a lot lighter in style, etc. Oaxaca and mezcal is just exactly where it's at, right? So the key difference is that a mezcal, you can call it the grandmother of tequila, and it's really ancient, and it's artisan and craft and everything you can think of as a spirit. It's absolutely fantastic. And the reason it has this really big flavors is because the big agave plant is grows for about 10 years, and then it's hand harvested, chopped up into big chunks.
Yes.
And you cook it in a big pot that you dig out for about 5 days or so. And I was in Oaxaca about a year ago, and at Alipus, which is what you have as a base here, lifted these big chunks of agave onto the pit that's been dug out with all the producers, and we cooked the agave. And that cooking is where you get this slight smokiness from, because it's constantly burning and feeding itself, and cooks. And then after it's cooked, you then crush it up, mix it with water, and let it ferment, just like you do with beer or grain, anything like that. And then you distill it. and it has this beautiful, really creamy, smoky texture. And you have agaves, you've got loads of different ones. You've got several different types of agave, but the most common is espadín, which is what we use Alipus is made from, and it's a really quite citrusy and sherbety almost in flavour. And then
and the spice, very quickly, that's coming from the fennel, is that
yes. Right? So to match the big flavour profiles that you have in mezcal, I used a Swedish take here, and we use in Scandinavia a lot of spices like fennel and caraway and anise and things like that. So what I thought was really interesting was combine that, because traditionally mezcal was infused with lots of herbs and spices as well, and it is quite spicy spirit, so they work really well together. So I mean, you used to use it as medicine and rub it on your chest to cure a cold, and you can drink it and it helps you both for
this is
inside.
A Scandi thing, is it?
No, this is well, it's true, but this is also the traditional mezcal. This sort of makes you feel better both on the inside and outside, supposedly, and so yeah, so I used that approach to the blood orange soda, which is what we topped it up with, and I infused that with a little bit of pine needles, which gives a lovely sort of sherbety spiciness.
Yeah.
And then we have a little touch of wild fennel, British wild fennel liqueur, to give you that really warm, beautiful, slight anise element. So it's all about flavour, and that's what Oaxaca is all about, and Mexico is all about. So
well,
that's
it tastes delicious. So cheers to everyone at home. Enjoy your drink, and thank you to Johan for making that for us.
Thank you.
We will see everyone in a few moments for the cook-along. See you shortly. Good evening and a warm welcome to a cook's tour with Rocket.
Vegetables, and as you can see, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. And what I want you to do is put the space in it, pop yolk right in the middle.
Good evening and a warm welcome to a cook's tour with Rocket and to our next destination, Oaxaca Uncovered. My name is Charlie Grant Peterkin and I'm tonight joined by the brilliant Thomasina Miers. Cook, writer, TV and radio presenter, winner of MasterChef, Tommy has made cheese and run market stalls in Ireland, chef with Sky Gingell at Petersham Nurseries, and in 2007, after living in Mexico for a year, she co-founded Wahaca. Tommy's passion lies in food and the environment. She co-founded the Pig Idea to tackle food waste, helped set up Chefs in Schools, is an ambassador for the Soil Association, and was awarded an OBE in 2019 for her services to the food industry. Tommy has a weekly column in the Guardian Feast magazine, and she has 3 young girls. Good evening, Tommy. Wow.
Hi, Charlie.
Lovely to see you. You've been busy.
Yeah, when you say it like that.
Yeah, it sounds pretty busy. Well, look, we're so delighted to have you join us tonight on the Cook's Tour. Thank you for being here.
It's so exciting to be able to tell people about one of my favourite places in the entire world.
Yeah, well, that's it. So look, please do just give us a little bit of sort of colour around Oaxaca, Mexico, and why it means so much to you.
Well, I mean, you've got this incredible atlas here, and so Oaxaca is this wonderful state in the southern part of Mexico down the Central Valley, and it is rich in biodiversity. I met an incredible scientist from Kew Gardens and they talk all about biodiversity there, and Mexico as a country is mega biodiverse. That's how it's classified because it's so rich in edible plants, about 30,000 species that we can eat.
Wow.
Compared to like 1800 in Britain. Yeah. So it's like full of like wild herbs and chilies, and Oaxaca has got its own microclimate. So it's, you know, that is like one of the most biodiverse states within one of the most biodiverse countries in the whole world. So it's rich in, you know, I've got all these chilies here.
Yeah, I mean, the set is just adorned with chili.
I don't know whether you can see these. These make a yellow mole from Mexico.
Yeah.
That's a particular type of chili. This is a smoky chili pasilla de Oaxaca, which you can only really get in Oaxaca. Not even in Mexico City can you really get hold of these. This is aguachile, which is one of the sauces you guys have got in your packs. I mean, we've got so many delicious things for you to try. Chili de árbol is a lovely grassy, really hot one. I think the most important thing for me about Mexican food, because I think lots of people think it's quite coarse and it's just too spicy for me. All these chilies are about flavour. They add wonderful depths of flavour, tobacco notes, sweet notes, rounded notes, rich notes, smoky notes that add just so much pizzazz to food. And it's a country of people who are obsessed with food. Doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, people love food, they love talking about it, they love talking about ingredients, they really cook, lots of nose to tail eating, and really sustainable. If you think about the pre-Hispanic diet, lots of kind of plants and the moles, which are sauce, a guacamole is an avocado sauce, the moles are enriched by kind of ground pumpkin seeds and sometimes insects. And in fact, the starter we're going to have, which we can talk about when we eat it, is a really classic old sauce that they will have been eating, you know, maybe hundreds and hundreds of years ago, enriched. The protein comes from pumpkin seeds or in some cases insects.
Wow, so we'll be tucking into that shortly, won't we?
Yes.
And just what do you hope that our intrepid cooks at home are going to take away from this evening's cook along?
So I think if you don't know much about Mexican food, what I want people to realise is that it is subtle, it is full of flavours, it can be really light, and then just this wonderful complexity of flavours and broad use of ingredients. And so what we do, which is what we try and do in the restaurants Oaxaca that I set up, is we try and use lots of British seasonal ingredients with some of these wonderful like dry chilies and kind of essences of what really Mexican food is about.
Brilliant. Well, there we go. We're in for an absolute treat. Before we get cooking, I'm just going to run through the rules, if you like. Remember, you can cook along live or you can cook along later, and a warm welcome to those who do actually choose to cook on Friday. It's lovely to have you on board. There is the live chat function. If you have any questions, please do type away there and Michael will get back to you. We've got lots to get on with this evening, so if we're going at too much of a pace, then do press the space bar and you can live pause the action and then press again and you'll be able to release yourself. Of course, there is the instruction booklet too, so you can follow along with the recipes in there. Always must mention our social. Please take photographs of your incredible creations using the hashtag #CookWithRocket. We love seeing what you get up to. Finally, before we start, we should get those ovens turned on, shouldn't we?
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to have 2 ovens because we want a really lovely, gentle, low oven for our flan, which we're going to with our pudding. And then I really want a hot oven for you guys for your goat. Or you can use lamb in this recipe, and I think you guys are going to include some recipes that you guys can cook at home. But so we want a hot oven for the goat. If you don't have 2 ovens, you can use reheat the goat in a pan and then whack it under a hot grill to get some crispy caramelization going, or just 2 ovens, so 120 fan for your flan and about 200 fan for your goat.
There we go, perfect. Okay, great. Tommy, what is on the menu? 5 dishes do we have?
Do you mind?
Yeah, let me heave that out the way.
Atlas. I would hate to get some chilies on that beautiful thing. So we have got for you guys. We're going to start off with some delicious tortilla chips from Blanco Niño, who are amazing supplier we use to cook all our tortillas at Oaxaca, and they are really, really great. So we're going to make. We have got for you guys in your pack a delicious pipián. We'll talk through that in a bit. Then we are going to have a wonderful aguachile with some bream. Aguachile is chili water. And
similar to ceviche?
Very similar to ceviche. So we have used blood oranges, fresh limes, some lovely fresh herbs and chilies, blitz them all up to make this wonderful marinade, and then we're going to make this lovely kind of raw cured salad.
Fabulous.
Just to whet the appetite.
Yes.
Get you ready.
Yes.
Get your juices salivated for the next course. Then we're going to do delicious tempura. We're going to have 2 dressings for the tempura. We're going to make a red chili mayo, and everyone has got in their pack this kind of chili paste, which has got a few different chilies in there, which you will use as a base to make the mayo. So that'll be dipping.
Bit of a skills test there.
Skills test, but there's a little kind of dressing to drizzle over your tempura, and this is basically we've charred some green chilies, fresh green chilies, so dry chilies add lovely back notes and complexity of flavours in the background kind of flavour notes here, but then a fresh chili has lovely kind of live, a bit like black pepper on food, so it really kind of wakes up your taste buds. And so this has got charred green chili jalapeno in it. We blitz it with fresh lime, tamari, and it's one of those examples of how fusion is all over Mexico. They're obsessed with Asian ingredients, and a lot of Asian ingredients have come over, like tamarind and soy. It's used in a lot of cooking in the different coasts, more on the kind of western coast and the Central Valley. So that's that for the dressing.
Great.
So 2 lovely different types of chili sauces for the tempura.
Yep.
Then of course we've got a wonderful barbacoa. Using cabrito goat. Now cabrito is a wonderful James at Cabrito is an incredible guy, and he has been breeding lovely free range goats for quite a long time now, and we've used them in lots of our sub clubs and events in Oaxaca. In Oaxaca the state, rather than Oaxaca the restaurants, they do these great barbacoas that you have at feast days and weekends, where you dig a huge pit up and then you marinate the goat, and it's like lamb basically. So you could do this with a whole lamb if you want to, or shoulder, which we're using, slather on this wonderful marinade of different chilies, and then cook it really low and slow in this great big pit, and then you have the tortillas.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. And who's had goat at home? Who's cooked with goat before?
I mean, goat is delicious.
What an opportunity.
Such a great meat. It's so delicious, and really good for the environment. Actually, some of these ruminants, they're really good for soil biodiversity. So it's great to support farmers who've got some of these incredible animals on the land, helping biodiversity. And then pudding, which we're going to start with straight away because we want to get that in the oven. So here we've made this wonderful little custard for you guys, and we've got the pot here, and I have got a little pan here. So that is my bain-marie, which I'm just going to move over here. Gently.
Very steady hands,
very
well done,
steady
well done.
And we've got a little lovely pot here for you to put your, and this is a burnt caramel, so I love caramel. And this is, you can see it's lovely, rich and dark. I really think with a caramel, you want to take it quite far. A flan is quite sweet. And you might think, flan, is it Mexican? But of course the Spanish conquered Mexico and they brought a lot of their flavours and recipes with them. So flan is super, super Mexican and you can find it everywhere. So this rich caramel, we've taken it really far and you can see that lovely.
It's beautiful.
And the bitterness of this caramel will offset the lovely creamy smoothness of the flan, which is quite low in egg. I really like a flan that's not too eggy, it's more kind of creamy. So that's what I'm not going to actually use all of that caramel. You can keep it for pouring on ice cream.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Another
or just
day.
Sort of dip your finger in it.
Dip your finger in it. I think pour tequila and that over vanilla ice cream another day, and you'll be really happy.
Okay, I'm going to sort of squirrel that away over here from you.
I hope all of you bought a really delicious bottle of tequila to enjoy with this, or maybe just the cocktail.
Yeah, well, I hope some are tucking into Johan's cocktail.
So this flan is a vanilla flan. So not a lot of people know that vanilla originally comes from Mexico, and in fact Veracruz is another one of my favourite destinations in Mexico, and the rainforest in Veracruz is where vanilla pods originally come from. So this flan mixture is rich in vanilla pods, and there is also a little bit of unaged tequila in there, which is just delicious in cooking. And actually what I haven't done, which you will want to do at home, is really shake up your cream mixture, because you see all my vanilla seeds are settled at the bottom. So when you're at home, shake it up, make sure you get all those lovely vanilla seeds in there.
Shake it to wake it.
Shake it to wake it. Shake the taste. So now we're going to pop him in.
So that's going into the bain-marie, and that's sort of a centimetre high of water, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically, because it's a very low egg mixture, because we don't like too eggy flan, so it's just gentle cooking so that you don't curdle the cream. Steady hands, pop it in the oven, and just forget about it for 40 minutes. There we are. In it goes.
Very good.
Hey, done.
Great, so first stage of flan is on the way.
Pudding's already done. How easy is that?
Brilliant.
Now I hope you've got some help here. I hope there are two people cooking, because you know we have got quite a lot to get through now.
We do.
So what are we doing next?
Let's get the snacks on the go.
I think let's get the snacks on the go. So yeah, so Phil has set up this wonderful company, Blanco Nino.
And they're based in Ireland.
These are made in Ireland.
Are they?
So Phil is Irish, and you know I went to cooking school in Ireland. I'm a big fan of the Irish, and he became as obsessed with corn as I did when I first went to Mexico, maybe even more so.
Corn is a big deal in Mexico, isn't it? I mean, here we just see corn in the supermarket and it's just like one thing in our minds, but in Mexico it is the foundation of life.
I mean, I could make an entire television program about corn. On one hand, you've got the kind of yellow, kind of industrialized corn business which goes to make loads of cheap kind of fast food. On the other hand, you have this which is essentially revered in Mexico so much that they have offerings of corn to the gods. It's a superfood. It comes in, there are about 80 or 90 different varieties of corn. They come in hues of blue, red, black, white, lots and lots of different colours, lots of varieties, rich in micronutrients like niacin, flavivin, riboflavin, like really good total superfood, and just so delicious tasting. So we've got, this is the real deal. Phil's been set up Blanco Nino a while ago, and we've been working for quite a few years. These are really great chips. And in this dip, this is a red pipián. A pipián is like a mole. It's a mole, which is a Mexican sauce, as I said, guacamole, avocado sauce. A pipián is a pumpkin seed mole, particularly. So Oaxaca is the home of many different moles, famously. So this is one of the many moles that you get, and other moles could be made with ground hazelnuts or almonds, more modern ones pine nuts, even different chilies. This is quite a complex one though, and this, if you were in Wahaca, might even have some ground up chicatanas in, which is an incredible flying ant, or maybe some chapulines, which are crickets. And in fact we are going to put this on our menu in Oaxaca, I think, in the summer, because I think it tastes so great. We've got a blend of different chilies in here, guajillo, chili de árbol. It's quite spicy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to dive in.
I think you should dive in.
I was going to say, there's sort of a theme with chili running through the menu, but what does sort of the ground insects, what does it add to it, do you think?
Well, they're kind of earthy and they're rich, and it's a source of protein. So in the Western world, we're a bit kind of like, ooh, why would I put an insect in my food? But the way you want to think about it is they're land prawns. So we love prawns, and we eat crab happily, or mollusks, whelks and cockles. And essentially, all this thing about eating insects, it's kind of loads of parts of the world. It's really common.
Yeah.
And in Oaxaca, you get a lot of your protein sources from the insects.
That is delicious.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's turning on the afterburners. There's definitely that lovely dry heat coming through it.
Yeah,
It's
so
delicious.
we've got Hoja in here, which is the most incredible herb and in fact we've sourced this from Mexico, which is a really, really lovely supplier, which you can shop online, get the Hoja from Mexico. So lots of ground herbs, dried spices. So do you want to keep nibbling those?
Let me have these in snack corner.
Yeah, just
over
in
here.
case, because you might want to keep on eating.
Yeah.
So aguachile,
Yes.
chili water.
Yes.
So this is going to be a really delicious little appetizer to get taste buds going. I've got a knife here. So this is a lovely piece of sea bream.
Yeah. And this is from James Knight.
Lovely. I'm going to give you that, because we don't need that. Now the nice thing about this is the way we're going to plate it. It doesn't matter about your knife skills of cutting the fish. The fish can look a bit of a mess, but we're going to cover it with the marinade and lots of little garnishes, so it's going to look lovely, whatever. So obviously wash your hands with raw fish, and I'm just going to run my knife along. And if you want to be really shishi and restauranty, you can of course put it in the freezer to kind of chill it a bit to make it easier to cut. But we're just at home. We don't worry about that.
Yeah, keep it casual.
Just going to slice, and you can use lots of different fish. I mean, in the summer when the mackerel season's going, be delicious with really fresh mackerel. Be really, really lovely. And even in events, we've done things like turnips if you're vegetarian, or beetroot, raw celeriac. You can have vegetarian ceviche.
Yeah, I can see that working well, very well.
Yeah.
And you mentioned scallop as well with the shellfish. Yeah.
Scallops are amazing, amazing cured. Yeah, and so and again, if you really like your raw food or raw fish, what you can do is dress this a la minute, like right before people sit down. We're going to dress it all now, so we've got things all plated out and ready. But you can either do that, in which case the fish will be cooked for about 40 minutes while you're cooking everything else, or you can just dress it right at the end and just have more of the texture of the fish.
What would you say would be the sort of the minimum amount of time to have the dressing on it for it to sort of do enough?
I mean, in Peru, you'd never eat a ceviche not just dressed in front of you.
Really?
So you can literally. All I would say is, if you were ever making aguachile at home, you definitely wouldn't want to dress it too long, because then it would really make the fish too tough. So all we're going to do here is, and as you see, I've done it on a separate chopping board because it's quite nice to have not mix up your chopping boards. And actually, Charlie, how are you doing? Do you want to lay out all the fish?
Yeah, I'd love to help.
So don't worry about what it looks like now, as I say, because we're just going to make it all look sexy afterwards with all our lovely ingredients, which includes, we've got a little lovely tiny little Middle Eastern cucumber there, lots of lovely flavour in that small size. And this is a meat radish, which essentially is a radish. And I'm just going to peel it here.
I'm not sure I've come across a meat radish before.
And I'm just going to clean my knife so that I've got fish all over my meat radish. Meat radishes are lovely. They're great. But you can just, if you didn't get hold of one, I mean, I think you guys got one in your pack because we're looking after you. But otherwise, you would just
Could use a breakfast radish or something like that. Or
a breakfast radish. And I think we've got different varieties going in different packs. So you might not have this style one. You might have a different one.
So it's a bit of a lucky dip.
It's a lucky dip, exactly. So there we are. I'm just going to peel that, get off the outside layer. And if you've got a mandolin at home, it's really lovely to have a mandolin to get really lovely thin slices, which not only look better when they're kind of slightly transparent, but I just think the eating of a radish, lovely thin, you don't want too crunchy, you want a nice kind of light crunch.
I totally agree, yeah.
So that's that. I'm just going to get my shavings away. Clean workspace, as John Turow taught me in MasterChef.
Gosh, all those years ago.
I was a very messy cook when I went on MasterChef all those years ago. John was always saying, Tommy, tidy work surface. So
gosh, that must be sort of happy memories.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. God, it was terrifying though. Crikey, that was the most terrifying thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I know, but what a catapult, hey?
It was a very good training for opening Wahaca, because when we opened Wahaca, I also had no idea what I was doing, having never really worked in a restaurant, but I'd done kind of some time with Sky at her restaurant, Peasham.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really hadn't done much time in restaurants. So So
Because
yeah,
I mean, sort of food and chefing, it didn't all happen instantly for you. I mean, you had some time sort of trying lots of things and exploring sort of the world.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Food hadn't really exploded when I was young. So the idea that you could kind of have a career in food was less obvious, I guess. So yeah, I tried so many different things, but then it was always food that I came back to. I mean, I cooked. I've always cooked. Always cooked.
Did anything tempt you away from food? Did you think, gosh, actually, I really enjoy being a VAT consultant?
I mean, that was my father going, this would be great practice for your Oxford interview. Why don't you be a VAT consultant? Like, thanks, Dad, for that one. That really ruined my gap year. But actually, they gave me the cash to go off to Mexico for the first time.
Yeah.
So with that money, off I went and discovered Mexico. At 18, I'd never really travelled on my own. And I was just this incredible country. You know, everyone thought Tex-Mex was Mexican.
Well, that's it.
Texas is a part of America that used to belong to Mexico. So they've got some similarities how they eat the food.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's it.
That's it.
And the idea that that was Mexican food. So, how's your place? So now we've got these really, really pretty meat radishes.
Popping up there,
Would you like to? Do you want to lay those out while I cut the cucumber? There we are. I'll give those to you. I won't be judging you. I promise.
No. Well, thank you.
And then, and don't judge your partner, whoever's doing your laying out.
And
be kind to people.
And never judge their washing up either.
Well, that you can judge. I'm sorry. Got to have good washing up. So how are we gonna have these? Should we have these? We can have these in little dice. I think. Let's have them in little dice. So I'm going to cut those like that.
And so you spent a year or so, was it, in Mexico, sort of bumming around, or?
Well, the first time I went to Mexico on my gap year, after that terrible 9 months being a VAT consultant, I was drinking a lot of tequila and eating as much of the food as I could.
Jolly good.
And then many years later, and that was when I was finally really worked out, I met Clarissa Dixon Wright when I was about 26.
Wonderful.
And she saved me actually, because at that stage I tried so many different careers and I'd been doing really badly in all of them, because basically I just wasn't really into any of them. And she said, well, if you love food so much, why aren't you cooking?
Go and do it.
So she sent me off to Ballymaloe, and after Ballymaloe, Darina Allen, who runs Ballymaloe, which is the most incredible cooking school in Ireland, which is ahead of its time, because they teach you about soil and the fact that you cannot have healthy food unless your ingredients in the first place are grown in good soil. Because without good soil, you've got no nutrition in the food. So they're really, really ahead of their time. They were talking about that when I was in the cooking school, 15 years ago. What was I talking about? No idea what I was talking about. Always get that. Talk too much and then no idea what I'm talking about. So we're going to season that with a little bit. There is seasoning in this, by the way.
Okay.
I might just taste this.
Yeah.
You could taste this too.
I'd love to.
And just, so look, here, that's your spoon.
Okay.
Don't want to taste it ahead of you. And so in here we've got...
Oh, that's so vibrant. Zippy and zingy.
Oh. You put a little bit of tequila in that too, because that cures the flavour. It's got that lovely rounded richness.
And it's giving that
really...
a little bit extra warmth.
So now look, if you got come on that, can we see that? So that's just how we've done it. But you can cut your cucumber in half slices. You can take the seeds out. That could look. I'm really interested to see how different people are going to plate theirs.
Yes.
My challenge to you is to see how you'll plate yours, because it could go. I mean, you could have a million different ways of. Now I've tasted that. So just for So we're just going to dress this. And an aguachile is different from a ceviche. You want to really, really have lots of this. And in fact, we could have put some on underneath the meat radish, because we're going to slightly cover the lovely colour of the meat radish with this. So maybe when you're doing this, put some of the sauce on underneath, and then maybe we'll put some more meat.
That's a good plan. Well, we can pop a bit on top, can't we?
And then, once we've done that, get some lovely micro coriander, and just kind of dot it. Actually, do you know what? That's a bit limp. Let's just do some fresh leaf coriander.
Get the fresh stuff out.
Let's do some of that.
Do you think we're moving away from sort of micro cresses? Do you think we're going back to sort of...
Well, I do love, look at those leaves, just whole leaf.
Yeah.
Sometimes just looks really kind of lovely too. So, there we are. Just put some of that there, and that is going to be sensational. And, try not to eat. We've given you so many of those delicious tortilla chips, because those, with this as well, keep some for this, because this is just going to be sublime.
Yeah, a brilliant shovel.
So there we are. That is your starter, already done. Bob's your uncle.
Well done.
Super simple. And you can, if you want to, you can serve a couple of lime wedges with it, because fish and lime always go well together. And we're going to just clear that up, put put those.
Pop those over here. Would you like me to chop a lime and do you want to put a lime on top? Or?
Yeah, we could put a couple of lime
why
edges.
not?
No, why not? Why not?
Why not?
Have some cucumber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wild. Great. And then
Right.
goat time.
What are we going to do next? Should we do the mayo?
I think we need to get the goat in the oven, don't we?
Let's get the goat in the oven. That's a good idea. Okay. So, glad someone's keeping an eye on what's going on.
Yeah.
Oven dish, any old oven dish, and then where's our goat?
It's lurking behind
There we are,
here.
perfect. Glad I've got an assistant like you, Charlie. Phew. Okay, so we've got this goat, cabrito goat. You can order it online. It's really, really good product, and you know we've got recipes. People have been sent. recipes.
Yeah. Well, you've got instructions in your booklets, which tells you how to follow the cook along. But on our website, you've got the full recipes, and put lots of paper in the printer if you are going to print, and you should really just read them online because the recipes are incredibly long and detailed because there are so many fabulous ingredients.
Yeah, they are. So I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in here, and I'm going to put a little bit of pepper and sea salt because that's what I do to everything. And we're going to put this in the hot oven. It's going to get hot. It's going to crisp up. It's going to be caramelized, and it's going to be delicious in your tacos. Okay?
Oh, so
great. In that goes.
In the hot oven. And then that's going in, 20 minutes-ish, but really we'll keep an eye on it and see how it gets.
Basically just keep an eye on it. You just want it to be hot through and then a lovely kind of caramelisation going on top. You don't really want to overcook it. So yeah, just keep an eye on it.
Okay,
it'll be fun.
Keep an eye on it. Well, it's mayo time, hey?
Mayo time. So making mayo is really easy, she says, just as she's about to scramble her mayo. But it really is. It's just one of those things. And I think homemade mayo, because you can add saffron to a mayo or just lime, lemon aioli.
It's so universal, isn't it?
At Oaxaca, we have 3 mayos, and they are so good on everything. So this red chili mayo is a kind of basis one we do in the restaurant, and it is really good. So first,
and this mayo is for the broccoli.
This is for the broccoli, but we just thought we would just get it.
But we'll get it on the go now.
Get it on the go now, just so you've done the hard work ahead. You've got your cocktail. It's probably quite good to get these, slightly harder work things done before you drink too much of your margarita. No, it's not. It's a Paloma you're having. It's a Paloma.
Well, it's got
there we are.
mezcal in it, hasn't it? I think I offended Johan because I said, God, tequila tastes great. And he gave me a sort of a look. He said, actually, Charlie, it's mezcal.
Well, the reason we're having mezcal is the mother of tequila.
Well, that's it, yeah.
So, did he tell you about that?
He did, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
and it's Wahaca, isn't it? Wahaca based.
And of course, it's much more interesting tequila. Tequila is just from the blue agave plant. But then, did he tell you all this?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that many different varieties. So I'm going to put in a little bit of Dijon mustard, which you can do at home if you want to. Just like a little teaspoon there. We might want a little bit of brown sugar, but we're going to taste it. This is your chili paste. So this is made with chipotle, which is a smoked jalapeno, and we'll put that in afterwards. Actually, let's make the mayo first. We've got some lime here. We're going to put some salt in, a bit of pepper, and oil.
And oil, all important oil.
We need some oil.
Yellow.
Okay, there we are.
There we
So, do you want to hold this for me?
I'd love to.
Otherwise, you can make a little nest with a dishcloth if you want to.
Yeah.
But
and what's the trick? Because this is where I go wrong.
You just want to add it slowly to begin with. That's the kind of trick, basically. So what you can use, I never recommend using pure extra virgin olive oil because the bitterness of the extra virgin olive oil will interfere with your flavours. So I would use half vegetable oil and half extra virgin. I think that's better because then you really let the flavours of the mayo come through. So yeah, basically, and then you just whisk it in. You can see it's just really simple making mayo.
And any top tips about the size of whisk or the size of bowl or the temperature of the eggs or?
I mean, I never keep my eggs in the fridge. They should always be room
as a golden
temperature.
rule.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, so many people keep so many things in the fridge that can just be out.
Yeah.
I mean, eggs last for weeks out on your surface.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's kind of like 40 degrees outside, there's just no need. Eggs should be room temperature. And other than that, you see, you can't really split a mayo. You can split a mayo quite easily in the bowl of a Magimix if you're doing a small amount. But if you're doing a bowl like this, I could probably hold this for you if you want. You're doing
No,
a
I
good
think
job
I'm
there.
doing it quite casually while
Yeah.
I'm on the hip.
So basically, you start off doing drop, 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 but then you
and
know
like
towards the
increasing
end
the
you can
flow.
kind of really let it fly.
And it's
you know.
emulsifying beautifully.
Yeah. I mean, mayos.
Yeah, I need 2 hands now. It's sort of
So yeah,
going up the
really,
power.
you know.
come on, good
And then
workout.
now look, if you think it's getting a bit too thick, what we can do is just add a splash of water. So we have got some water.
Yes, we do.
Got a little bit of water
A little
here.
bit of water there.
Because then it's just, and we'll also thin it down. Whoops, that's quite a lot of water.
Oh,
Hopefully I
okay.
won't split that. Let me just grab that.
You got it?
So yeah. Oops.
Oh, heavens.
Oh, yeah.
Grab that for you.
Using olive oil.
There we go.
Water here.
Okay.
So, and actually we don't need that much. That will take a good 150 mils of olive oil and vegetable oil mixture. Simon Hodkinson always suggests that you start off with the vegetable oil, that it's less likely to split if you start with that. So I'm going to put a little bit of fresh lime in for acidity.
Yep.
We have got some killer, I mean this is Balathu's Merlot vinegar. I always think a little bit of vinegar is really delicious, but you don't need to. But we might just do that.
What does the vinegar add, do you think?
It's got a little kind of roundness, this kind of sweetness to it that's just really wonderful. I love vinegar. And actually, vinegars are massive in Mexico. Housewives have guava vinegars, apple vinegars, pineapple vinegars all along their kind of windowsills, homemade vinegars. Very, very healthy cuisine. People
Yeah.
think of it as kind of fatty and meat rich. The pre-Hispanic cuisine, really rich in plants and spices and green things.
Okay, so in goes the base.
So this base is, it's like an adobo. So it is a smoky chili, got some charred onion, charred garlic, spices, and the type of spices the Mexicans use, kind of allspice, cinnamon, cumin.
How many
we
types
could-
of chili are there? That is sort of
Definitely in
lot,
Mexico,
yeah.
a couple of hundred.
really.
Yeah. So Charlie,
I'm not going to test you, don't worry.
I would like you.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should say that, but I have been round the Central de Bastos de Oaxaca with Alejandro Ruiz, who is like a very famous chef in Oaxaca, and I have seen him spot chilies that he's never seen before, and he's been living in Oaxaca for 45 years, let's say, Alejandro.
Gosh.
If you're listening, if you've got my box, that'd be good. in Oaxaca, having the Oaxaca Uncovered box,
That'd be
that would be
pushing
good.
our dispatch
So I'm just
service.
adding a bit more olive oil in there.
Okay,
Right, Charlie, do you want to taste that? See how you like the heat?
I'd love to.
I mean, I could just eat mayo on its own, personally.
Oh, it's fabulous. Lovely texture, really delicious. And there it is again. A little bit of heat coming through.
Not that
No.
hot though.
No.
I think people mistake the idea of using a chili to blow your brains out. It kills your taste buds if you use too much chili. You want flavour to come through, and that smokiness, that rich smokiness, with a green verdant bit of broccoli dipped in, bit of crispy coating.
That's going to be heavenly.
It's going to be good.
Very excited
and then,
about
look,
that.
you've got a little bit of paste left over. You
Yeah.
can use that in a bolognese sauce, meatballs, anything with where you want a bit of smoke. So we have,
Great.
we can get rid of those. I'm going to move those over here.
Okay, so smoked chili done, and that's
Yeah.
on the side waiting for later. And now we're going to move on to making the slaw and the dressings to go with it.
Great. So you can have a complex dressing for your slaw, but we've got quite a lot of flavour going on. We've got some salsas. So I think we should just do a really simple dressing.
Okay.
So we have got a lovely pot of slaw ready, shredded for you, so you don't have to get the mandolin out and get
We
all
like
the
to
kind
take away all the work, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, how good's that? So why don't we should we just do that?
Oh,
and then,
beautiful.
I think actually when you've got something as good as barbacoa, we can just literally squeeze.
Yeah.
You've got some limes in your boxes. That's true, isn't it?
They do, yeah.
So look, there you are.
Squeeze away.
Extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
Whizzle of that. I hope you've got some of that at home. The better quality, the better it will taste. Squizzle
I
that
love the way
over.
also you just attack that lime with your hands and really sort of squeeze the life
Yeah,
out of it.
go for it. Go for it.
the
And
way to
then,
do it, isn't it?
and then just, toss it
Yeah.
gently. And then that is going to be, now if you want to, you can put a little bit of mustard in the base, you can put a bit of buttermilk, you can do whatever you really want. But I think sometimes just a simple dressing,
Yeah.
you've got that lovely, if you've got a delicious vinegar, you could even add a little drizzle of that delicious stuff. There we are. And that is going to be to dress our, and look, we've got some of this lovely coriander. Just pop that there, ready for
Ready for the goat.
the goat. So,
We've got goat in the oven. We're happy with how that's coming along.
let's have a look.
Should we give it a
shall we?
little cheeky peek? You might have to have...
Oh, actually, do you know, so I reckon it's not going to take, I think 15 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, look at that.
Look at that, pop it up here. Oh, wow. Look, yeah, it's all sort of
that.
catching, getting gnarly. I want to get straight in there. Lashing
We might
some
not be
mayo
able
on
to
top.
wait.
Oh.
We might eat it before
No,
we're ready.
exactly.
Oh my God. So I reckon if you've got a really hot oven, 200 degrees, 10, 15 minutes is going to be good. So
Are we happy with the flan? I don't want to open the door because I know
my
it's
God,
doing
should we
its
check the
thing,
flan?
but it might be
Check
worth
the
just
flan.
having a quick gander.
come on, let's have a go. Ugh.
Yupo.
No, it still needs some time.
Okay.
We're going to cook this very gently. So
Yeah.
I think that, though this kind of flans you get, where they're a bit kind of, it's almost like having kind of scrambled eggs, really anti that. So this is low on eggs, so you get that lovely creaminess.
Yeah.
So it is quite a gentle one.
But
so
to
it'll
do
take-
that, you have to cook it long and slow, do you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it's long and slow. So
Well, I've got a note on the board saying turn olive oil on.
we do want
Turn
the oil on because the secret to a lovely crisp light tempura is all about the temperature of
yeah,
the
it's
oil. So we're just going to pop this oil on.
So, and that's just vegetable oil going onto a hot heat.
Now we have got a big vat of oil in here, but I think at home sometimes I just use a wok. It's quite because then you just need less oil,
Yeah.
and it kind of all contains in that deep pan. So I think
Perfect.
that way you use less oil, and then you can recycle it, of course.
Okay,
if you
so
want.
sort of 200-300 mils, that sort of thing could work.
Yeah, and then the temperature for a good frying is about 180 degrees.
Okay.
But you can just test that by putting one of your, bit of your tortilla in. Just it's got to sizzle when it gets in there. And
Great.
That's it, really.
So that's going to take a few minutes to sort of come up to temperature, and we'll keep an eye on that. And whilst we're doing that, I think we're going to sort of start talking about tortillas.
Tortillas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we're
great.
getting close
We
to
are
placing that goat.
whizzing through.
We are
this.
whizzing through, and if we are going too fast, don't forget you can press the space bar if you need a bit more time.
Yeah, but this is so easy, right? We've done all
Yeah.
the hard work for you. So tortillas, I talked about corn from the Tortilla Chips. These are also from Blanco Niño. Really great producer. You can get, I think you can order these online. Now, the secret to having a good tortilla is they should never be cold. A cold tortilla is horrible. It's kind of chalky and cardboardy. And they're quite tricky to work with corn. So these are entirely gluten-free and made from pure corn. So what we want to do is we want to wake up their flavour and make them nice and soft. So we're going to heat them up in a pan. It's really, really important to make them hot, which I said. So get a tea towel like this, wet it slightly, and then once your tortillas are toasted, put them in there, put them in your low oven,
Yeah.
because there's nothing worse than having a cold tortilla. And if
Okay.
you're in a restaurant in Mexico and someone brings you a plate of tortillas, they're always wrapped up like this. And if a guest opens up this and then leaves it open, that's like the cardinal sin.
Oh,
You would
okay.
never. That's like burping at the table. It's like literally.
Away with you.
Yeah, away with you, because you're making them cold for everyone else. So when you help yourself to tortillas at the table, make sure you wrap them up again.
Know your tortilla eating etiquette.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So we so this is when it open up nicely.
Okay.
And then we're going to toast in my
Put those
pan.
into a hot pan. And this is the thing with tortilla. I mean, I've had the pleasure of going to Mexico and having my first tortilla in Mexico. I was amazed because of the flavour and the smell, first of all.
smell.
It is unique, isn't
Yeah.
it? And it just takes you back to Mexico instantly.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult to find tortilla like this anywhere, outside, or not in the supermarket, is what I'm trying to say.
No,
There's
I mean,
nothing
yeah.
like the real deal. So
Yeah, and it's incredible because in our restaurants we've developed
Yeah.
our own recipe with Phil at Blanco Niño, and it's so brilliant for people with eating intolerances.
Yes.
Of course they're gluten free, and they've got that amazing flavour, and they're just fantastic.
yeah. So it's worth the extra effort to go and find the real deal.
I think so. I mean, good flour tortillas are also sensational, but it's quite hard to find good flour tortillas as well as. So I'm just going to flick these tortillas with a bit of water,
Yeah.
which will just kind of give them some suppleness. You can put a tiny bit of oil in as well, and then just really you're just looking to just gently just warm them up. And you can do this, if I was at home I might do this just before we're sitting down, but we've got a lot going on, so it's quite nice to just get them done in advance. Maybe actually what you could do,
What can I do for you?
could you why don't you make this, no, this is my oven glove, if you could make that a little bit damp,
Yeah, of course.
because then they will stay not only hot but a bit moist in the oven.
Brilliant.
So there we are.
Well, we'll get
Now you
that
can
cloth.
put a bit of oil. And tiny bit of oil, just
Yeah.
to. There we are. Okay, there we are. And just going to heat these up gently. And my oil, I can see, is getting nice and warm, which is great. And these, that flan is looking great too.
Are you happy about the fan? Because the fan we're going to take out, aren't we? And then we're going to sort of, you're going to pop it in the freezer.
Well, I think a flan is nice to eat when it's slightly chilled.
Yeah.
But obviously you've got a lot going on, guys. But what I'd say is the second the flan's ready, get it out, pop it in the freezer, which is a bit of a no-no. But I think it's just a tiny little flan, so it won't matter. And then it'll cool down and it'll be ready for when you're having pudding. But you know, a hot flan is fine too. I just personally think it's nicer chilled. So we've heated those up. Those are looking nice and kind of supple. And
it's just heating those through. You're not looking for any colour or anything.
You don't need to colour them. I mean, you can colour them. In Mexico, you'd have a comal, which is over an open fire. Again, I'm just kind of flicking some water on these, and then just warming them up. And then we've got the.
And we've got
those. Okay.
Damp little
towel
blanket for them.
Great. And then we'll put that in the same oven as the flan. That's great. And I think you guys have got lots of tortillas, enough and lots to eat your barbacoa with at home. And we've got the chips. Have you got a cocktail?
Oh, you know what?
Have you drunk it already?
You know, Johan,
Charlie.
I tell you, he was out the door almost with both cocktails. I was like, hold on a second, let's keep one of those on, well, 2 on set for Tommy and myself.
Oh my God.
He wasn't having any of it.
God, it's just shocking.
Yeah,
shocking.
It is shocking.
Right, what do we do next?
Well, it's all coming together. Well, we're going to get the goat out the oven, which I think probably by then we would have caramelised.
Yes.
And then we're going to plate up that main dish.
Great. And then we'll cook our broccoli.
And then we'll cook our broccoli.
Oh my God, it's all go. It's all go.
And we've got to get that flan out at some stage and give it the sort of the chill process.
Well, let's have another squizzle at it.
Another squiz.
Get these.
Get that little.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
In that goes. So those are nice and hot. We're going to put them in the same oven as the flan, and let's check on this flan at the same time.
Perfect.
Right, so that's not quite ready. It's still quite wobbly. So when it's ready, we'll look at it in a bit. It's got to have a little bit of wobble.
Okay.
It will set more as it's cold. So basically, the second it's ready, we'll bung it in the fridge or freezer, and it can just cool down while we're eating our main course.
Perfect. Great.
Okay, great. Should we plate out the meat?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
This is an exciting moment.
Oh my God, it's looking great.
Good. So I've got the Neal's Yard creme fraiche. We've got the slaw, which we've dressed earlier.
In here, and it's looking like
is that how you want it? Yeah. That is the dream, isn't it?
Look, got some of those caramelised bits, just looking absolutely glorious.
That's exactly what you want, isn't it? Where it's sort of catching and going a bit gnarly.
Oh, yum, yum, yum. And then we've got this amazing relish that we've made for you guys, and I'm going to tell you all about the relish. It's just so great. I've got a little bit. Get all
get in there.
Get all those little bits out. You can use tongs, of course.
When you hold both hands, I'll get in there and hack away for you.
You can just, and then you just eat those little bits. So good. Oh, yum. Okay, so we've got the lamb. Now we're going to dress this lamb. So this is creme fraiche from Neal's Yard. It is so good, this creme fraiche. I get it all the time. My local butcher stocks it. It is so sweet and creamy. I'm so pleased that we've got this in your bags. Half-fat creme fraiche. I don't know why people even put that in the supermarket. What's the point of having half-fat creme fraiche? Frankly, it's a travesty. You want the fat for the flavour.
Yeah. Do it properly.
Look at that. I mean, sorry, that is insane. Oh, look. So good.
Whoa.
I just want to eat my whole thing of creme fraiche just now.
Pass it over here and I'm going to put it into snack corner.
So, ancho relish. So there's a woman called Diana Kennedy who lives in Michoacan. She is 94 years old. She's from Essex, and she's lived in Mexico for about 50 years. And this is one of her recipes. She's written more about Mexican food than any living person. She's been traveling in her kind of pickup truck, investigating the different recipes from Mexico. So when people talk about Mexican food, you kind of think of one cuisine. But one of her books is called The Cuisines of Mexico, because you've got all these different states, 36 states, and the microclimate in Oaxaca. You've got desert, plain, river, rainforest, coastal regions, and then within those terrains and geography, from kind of north to south, east to west, you've also got language. So there's 62 native Indian languages spoken today in Mexico, but there were many more previously. So all those native languages kept peoples apart by the language and then the terrain, which meant all these individual cuisines kind of sprung up all over Mexico and stayed separate. And that's why you talk about the cuisines of Mexico, because it's so regional. And that's why this dinner we're doing is a Oaxacan dinner. But even with Oaxaca, there are 7 different regions in Oaxaca. So we could have done an isthmus creation, which would be one region within Oaxaca. So it is
The mind boggles.
It's insane.
Wow.
So this is a recipe from Diana Kennedy. It's called Salsa De Tijera. It's in one of her books, and I put it on our menus quite a long time ago, and we use it in our chicken tacos in the restaurants. And it's essentially ancho chilies, kind of raw ancho chilies, lovely vinegar, your best vinegar you can find, some extra virgin olive oil, shallots and garlic, and they're just kind of macerated. Now we've made this for you a few weeks ago, and it's just kind of I mean, look at the colour of that. And you might, Charlie, just want to just taste it on its own like that, because it's really sensational.
And this one's not going to blow my head
I've got
off.
my lisp going today, don't know why. And we'll put some lovely... Oh my God, I haven't even put the slaw on. What am I thinking? Okay, look, this is
Oh, I think I'm in heaven.
It's so good, isn't that good?
That's so good.
Except, look, I just wasn't really thinking what I was doing. I'm going to have to redo that
heavens.
because, yeah, I've got to do a little bit of, to really make it look pretty. Because of course, it's all about feasting with the eyes. We're also going to do a bit of that, get some, and then we're going to put this on.
There we go.
That. Use that spoon. Get that lovely cream going, and then some coriander. I mean, look at this. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good in our tortillas.
And then the tortillas, of course.
I mean, let's look at these radishes. They're so pretty, so lovely. Get some of those radishes, and that is our meat ready to go. And our tortillas in the oven. And I'm getting quite hungry.
I'm getting super hungry too.
Make that plate.
And then you've sort of got the slaw on the side as well.
And there's loads of that relish.
Yeah.
We've given you lots, so just keep doling it on. And there's your meat. Let's put some more. There's the slaw.
That's got
it. And we could probably do some lime wedges, because you always. In Mexico, you've got to squeeze your fresh lime on. Acidity is a very important balance for all those meaty, lots of rich braises with kind of cheap cuts of meat. You just need acidity to really kind of contrast and lift up all those flavours. So, we better make the tempura.
We had better do the tempura, yeah.
We're getting hungry.
We're getting super hungry. This is all coming to a sort of a climax.
I
here.
know, it's feeling quite climatic.
I'm very energised.
Yes.
Okay, tempura, tell me what to do.
It's funny, my middle child was playing me some climactic music this morning. So I feel like I'm
sort of
in
uplifting house music.
It wasn't. It was kind of, she's been doing this composer at school who has composed lots of music for famous films. She's obsessed with space, and she wants to be a space astronaut, and so she roused me this morning with this climactic kind of. So I feel like this is we're in the zone now. We're in space. So this is 75 grams of plain flour, 75 grams of rice flour, which is the perfect mix for a tempura.
Great.
It's going to be light and crispy and just delicious. We've got 125 mils of water.
Great.
And we have got our bag of cauliflower. Now, you can use any seasonal veg. It's delicious with asparagus. You can have purple sprouting, whatever you like. Obviously, wash your hands first. And then we're just going to toss those in a bit of water just so they can get coated. Yeah. And then let's pop them.
And how's your oil? Has that got nice and hot?
The oil is perfect. Absolutely perfect. And then
just dust those in the flour mix.
Yeah, exactly. There we are.
That for you.
Just so it sticks a bit. There we are. Going to get a bit messy with our hands, but that's okay.
What I'm going to do, Tom, I'm just going to move you along a little bit. Oops, sorry. Then we can get that on the overhead cam.
Yeah, great, awesome.
Everyone at home can
just
see.
Lay those out nicely. There we are. Dun dun dun. Where you have a sip of your drink, have a little totopo with your pipián. It's quite nice to have something to kind of eat while you're cooking.
You've got to take the edge off, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There we are. Okay.
It's looking great, coming together.
It's all coming together. I am powerfully hungry now. This is all good. There we are. And
so
we've got a soundtrack.
We should have a soundtrack, shouldn't we? There should be some beats in the background.
I've got Lily Downs in my head. So she is she's a very famous Mexican singer, and she's got a very good song about Oaxaca. Yeah. I've got it in my head right now. I feel like I'm in Oaxaca actually. I really do. I'm transported. Right. So got very messy fingers. I'm just going to do a little.
Come over for a rinse.
Have a rinse here. There we are. Just do that. and clean off there. And then we're going to whisk. So we've got the flour, I've got my whisk here, I've got an egg. Have we got that egg?
You do, you need the
bowl?
the white bowl back, yeah?
Yeah. Awesome, thank you very much.
We are.
You're a great kitchen assistant. Have you done this before, Charlie?
Well, I've been in training with Chef Ryan, so...
Have you? Yeah, Chef Ryan, he's great. Like Chef Ryan a lot. Okay, there we are. Whisk, there's my whisk.
So there's your whisk.
I need that water.
Sorry, Chef, water back.
Not that good, obviously.
No, not that good.
There we are. Do you cook at home, Charlie?
Yes, I do cook. And
I suppose working with Rocket.
yeah, exactly. Working for Rocket, you need to be a bit of a foodie.
Yeah.
But I was interested to read that actually, apparently we only sort of have 9 recipes up our sleeve on rotation.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes,
Yeah.
well, you know, because I write cookbooks, so it's one of those depressing kind of statistics.
It is,
Apparently
isn't
people
it?
get a new cookbook and then only ever cook like 1 or 2
Yeah.
recipes max from them.
Yeah, so you've got 9 on rotation. I sort of worry that I might have spag bol in there twice. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's one of
so
those
we
go-tos.
are just whisking in, you know, the rest of the water that you've used.
Permission to remove this bowl?
Yeah, please do.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. And there we are. We're just literally just whisking all that in. And that rice flour really helps to add that lovely crisp edge to a tempura. So it really is worth getting some actually at home. And
is that the sort of consistency you're looking for?
actually, I was questioning this consistency.
You want a bit looser?
Yeah, I think it needs to be a bit looser.
More water?
So I think that really, just because we've used quite a lot of water with the broccoli, so we're just going to add a little bit in.
Yeah.
There we are. There we are. 'Cause that's what cooking's all
Isn't
about.
this
It's
the
just
best thing about cooking live? That you've got to use judgment, haven't
Yeah,
you?
exactly. So can you see that? And I'm just going to put a tiny bit more in. And then also we quite want to season this.
Yeah.
Salt,
Salt, bit of pepper.
bit of pepper. Okay, I think that's looking
Fabulous.
okay. Great. So now we've got. Let's just test this. This oil looks great, actually.
Yeah.
So
How would you test it? Just sort of put a little bit in.
well,
see if it
for
has a fizzle.
instance, a little bit of look, chili. You can test it with chili.
Ooh.
And that is actually not sizzling. So let's just turn that up a little bit. Actually, he's on full heat. He should be sizzling right now. I know he's sizzling.
He's sizzling.
He's sizzling. Yeah, he's sizzling. It's really delicious. It's called a chili Toriado if you deep fry a fresh chili. They are sensational. You can do it with dry chilies
Want
too.
to try at home?
Yeah, these chili de arbor, deep fried and then crumbled over food.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
Tommy arrived on set this evening with a handbag just sort of full of chilies. I mean, do you take chilies in your handbag
Well,
everywhere
this
you
is, I'm a quite big smuggler, chili smuggler. I have been known to smuggle chilies. These are from Oaxaca, and they those make a mole oaxaqueño, which is got 37 ingredients in,
Yeah.
and without that, you're kind of toast. And I was after one of my maternity leaves, I had to cook a dinner, a charity dinner, and people were paying 100 quid for a ticket. I was like, it's got to be something good. So I got out of one of Diana Kennedy's recipe books.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to make the real deal. And then it called for this chilacque negro, and I was like, oh shit. And then I looked into my larder of chilies. I was like, look, I've got these. I must have picked them up from one of my trips.
Brilliant.
So I made a mole. At the beginning of the intro, it said, you'll need 3 days, 3 helpers, and an outside brazier to make this mole. And I was just like, that's so typical Diana, like hamming it up. It literally took 3 days. I had my mother, my father, my husband, and even my aunt came stirring the mole at one point at the end of the weekend.
Family affair.
So look, so this is
That's looking
I
good.
guess that's kind of what, double cream, thickish double cream.
Yes.
Something
yeah.
like
Yeah. I think that's it.
And your
Lovely.
water's chilled. So there we are. So we're going to go over here, and I've got a we've got that. Actually, I'm going to. Can I have?
You want that back?
Well, I'm just going to rest
Sorry.
my. We're going to have that.
Oh, good thinking.
So we're going to just do this. Do we have any tongs? Oh yeah, there we are. Some
There we
tongs.
go.
Great. That's great. So there we are. Just dip that in there. And actually might even put a little bit more. Let's see.
And then into the hot oil.
Yum. I'm just actually going to put even a tiny bit more
Okay.
in there. That's better. Lovely. And then we'll just, in it goes.
And those are in for, what, a few minutes?
A few minutes, and you don't want to
brown or-
overcrowd your pan, because if you overcrowd your pan, you're going to bring the temperature down. So just be patient, and you've got your low oven on for the flan, which we'll check in a second.
Yeah.
And just, you know, as you cook them, just transfer them to your warm oven, because you want these to be crisp and lovely and hot when you eat them. So even if you want to start with your aguachile, you can have these in your low oven, keeping nice and warm.
Yeah.
And then just bring them out when you're ready to go.
Yeah, great idea.
So there we are. That lovely pastry. Oh, tempura batter.
And this is going to have that wonderful mayonnaise and the tamarind, isn't it?
Not tamarind, so this is the tamari.
Tamarind,
But
that's it.
tamarind they do use a lot in Mexican cooking. We have a tamarind relish in Oaxaca that goes really well with some of our dishes. So I'm not going to overcrowd my pan. Those are going to, they'll just take a few minutes till they're golden.
Yeah.
So while that lot is cooking, we can just
Do check
have
on
a look
that
at the flan.
Must be incredible writing menus for Oaxaca, and I mean talking about the incredible sort of diversity of
It's
food
such
that is
fun.
available to
Such
you.
fun.
I mean, how on earth do you know what to put in?
Okay, so
The curation process must be quite extraordinary.
we're gonna show people. So this is. So I'm just going to show you guys at home. So that, I would say, another 10 minutes, okay? So you can see it's still got a bit of wobble in. So we want another 10 minutes of that, and then it'll be ready. So I'd say probably 130, actually, to cook this bad boy. And there we are. He's going to be ready in about 10 minutes. Should be perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, let's see how these guys are doing. Oh, they're looking lovely and crisp. Just wait for those to golden. You've got your snacks.
I've got my snacks, snacking away. Everyone's got their
Awesome.
drinks. I was asking,
so what's next? What's your next menu?
Well, we're in a couple of weeks' time. We are off to Vietnam, where our wonderful chef Ryan Stafford is going to take us on a sort of a little bit of a culinary journey. From Hoi An down the coast to Ho Chi Minh.
Amazing.
So there's some lovely things on there to learn. I think we're going to be learning how to make the perfect pho. It's going to be a lovely voyage, and I'm sure there'll be some delicious drinks pairings to go with it too.
I've been really impressed by all the different countries you visited on the tour.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of quite exciting.
Well, that's it. We're sort of we're sort of getting around a bit, aren't we?
Yeah.
But there's just so much to discover, and there's so much to sort of get our guys at home cooking and learning and.
Well, you know,
and
we've all
feasting.
been so trapped in our homes. It's such a kind of great way to travel.
Well, that's
Food.
it. It's kitchen escapism at its very best.
Yes. Yes.
So it's been a great adventure for us all.
Great. Okay, so we've got. So what I'm going to get you to do, I'm going to put these on the plate, and then I'd like you to. We've got that. See that dish, the green one.
Yes.
Now that is perfect. So what we need to do is I'm going to just pop those there to just drain the
oil a bit.
Drain the oil a bit. If you could arrange them beautifully, and then maybe you can spoon some chipotle mayo in that lovely gold dish.
Yes.
While we just cook the rest of these.
Ooh.
And there we are. That is getting perfectly.
And if they're coming out the fryer at home, it's in the oven to keep them warm, isn't it? Really.
Exactly.
We're going to obviously
heat down a little bit now, so that it doesn't spit too much, and then just put the rest of those in. Oops. There we are.
And here's the mayo. Should I pop that into a little bowl or?
In that bowl would be wonderful.
That makes sense, wouldn't it?
That would be great. That would be awesome. Let's wash my hands. And then, hopefully, we can eat.
Yay!
So what I might do is just a little bit of salt on that, and we've got the dressing coming up. Let's pick some more coriander.
Yeah.
Now the other thing, it's herbs. We always think about coriander, but actually, a lot of the herbs you get in Mexico, hoja santa, hierbo de conejo, chipil, a lot of them have kind of really different kind of flavours going on. And so when I'm in Britain, I can't get hold of all those lovely herbs. I use a kind of mixture of tarragon, chervil, parsley to try and capture some of those flavours. So you can go adventurous with your herbs at home.
Play around, good.
So there we are, just waiting for these to go golden.
So what's next for you? What's lined up for this year?
But I'm writing a cookbook at the moment, which is very exciting.
Good.
So a bit more Mexican. Which is good, yeah, really exciting. So I'm flat out doing that. And
when would expect to find that on the shelves?
Well, these cookbooks take
a while, hey?
They do, yeah, next year.
Next year, okay.
Yeah,
so.
but it's very exciting,
Good.
Yeah. And then Chefs in Schools, this charity that I'm a trustee
tell us
of.
a bit more about that.
It's just fantastic. So the concept is you completely change the way an entire school eats by just putting one trained chef in the kitchen, and they just think about food in a completely different way. I'm not saying dinner ladies are bad in any way, but a trained chef really, their whole passion is about food and flavour and imparting that to people.
Yeah.
So you put the chef in the centre of the school instead of the staff going through the back entrance, no one knowing their name. The chef is kind of the hero of the school, and we've put them into 40 different schools so far. We've only been going for about 18 months, and you feed children freshly cooked food for 50 pence per child per day less than the big contract caterers, and you're feeding them fresh bread every day, incredible seasonal vegetables,
fabulous,
beautiful ingredients, and teaching them that good food doesn't have to cost the earth. You can easily feed the entire nation on good ingredients, but you do need the skills, and so it's a really great concept, and it transforms the way all these children eat.
That's
and
fabulous.
Think about food.
Great for the kids, but also great for, we say the dinner ladies, because they're learning something new.
Oh my God, it's amazing. These chefs become heroes, and the whole kitchen team become heroes in the school because the food is suddenly delicious, and
putting
it
food at the
great,
centre.
and you put food in the centre of the school because food should be at the centre of our lives. It keeps us alive. It's what literally keeps us alive. It's a survival thing, and yet we've made it so unimportant. Food is everything. So here we are. These are nearly ready. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes till they're really golden, and then we can let's start dressing these. We've got this lovely
the tamari dressing.
Have you tasted this?
I haven't. No, I'd love.
Okay, so why don't you taste that? Tell me what you think.
It's actually sort of it's incredibly sort of sweet and savoury at the same time.
It's got that fresh lime in there, bit of soy for saltiness, and then a really, really light chili kick from the charred jalapeno. Great, that's going to be sensational with that. And then these are looking golden now. I didn't want them to be too pale because we don't want that. So I can take those out. Let's separate that from there.
There we go.
There. And okay, oh, lovely.
There we go.
There we go. And then we can finish plating.
We're going to have a tower of broccoli here.
And then just before you guys eat at home, we can get the flan out, pop it in the fridge, and that's be your pudding. And look at that, still sizzling. Yum. My gosh, look at this. Now that
looks great. Height, lots of height.
Of course, you could even slice some fresh chilli.
Yes.
Put over if you wanted to.
Well, if you'd like to, there's plenty around.
There we are. A little bit of just kind of. We don't want too much in there because you don't want to make it go soggy, but and you can use it as a dipping sauce too.
I was going to say you could have that on the side as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, and do you want to
do you want
to try that? Do you want to taste it now? Or are you going to taste it after?
No, I want to try it when it's really hot.
Oh God, come on.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah, I'm going right in. Oh, here we go. Oh, hot.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, good. Yum. Mamma mia.
Fabulous. Well done. Well,
smoky.
Try at home and then put it into the oven quick because otherwise they'll evaporate.
Okay.
But that is fabulous. Well done. Delicious.
And a bit more fresh.
And again,
lime.
more lime if you wanted, I guess.
More lime. Always more lime.
That's so good. And as you said, you could do it with any veg, but I can also imagine you doing it with sort of fish and shellfish.
Oh my God, so good.
All sorts.
So
sky's
delicious.
the limit.
Grace, I think we need to clear down. Look at all this. Let's
okay, well,
get
leave
this
that
out
to
of the
me.
way. Okay, all right, ready?
Oh, come on. Here we go.
Okay, right. I'm going to check the flan.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
And that's had its, 40 minutes?
45 minutes. It's just set. It's looking beautiful. And don't forget, it's going to firm up in the fridge. So we need to get it out. Okay. Get it in the fridge.
But we're going to cheat things, aren't we?
We're going to cheat things. We're just going to get it out onto this lovely plate here. And we have got the most delicious garnish. So remember, inside this flan, you've got that incredible caramel with all the vanilla going on, and the mezcal we've got here. So this is a wonderful recipe I picked up in Mexico. We've got the lovely seasonal, new season's pink force rhubarb, and we've got some pomegranate, end of season pomegranate, new season's rhubarb, and I just need a little spoon.
You're short on a spoon.
Do a spoon there.
I have one here. Might need to give it
and I'm just going to pop it in this little dish. And so what we've done is we've macerated the rhubarb, so it's raw rhubarb, and it's just macerated in a bit of vanilla, a bit of fresh lime, and a bit of mezcal, which is
delicious.
the mother of tequila, and it is really wonderful stuff. And it's going to be brilliant. So once you've put your pudding in the fridge at home, it's family style, so just get a lovely plate, just spoon it out, all that caramel will come out. You don't have to flip it or do anything shishi like that. Just spoon it onto your plate. It's going to be lovely, and it's just not too eggy, remember, that creaminess. And then you can just spoon over. Can you see that? Got that on the camera? See that? Lovely pink colours. Just spoon that over. And that tartness of the rhubarb, and the fruitiness and the balance of flavours, it's going to be incredible.
That's going to be divine.
So there is that.
There it is. Okay.
Tortilla chips.
Oh,
Do we need those tortilla chips? I'm going to get the tortillas. If
you
you
bring
can
the
get
tortillas.
the
This is
tortilla
the moment I always look forward to when we start everything
get those
together.
tortillas out.
The tortillas. I haven't snacked at too many. Kept me busy.
And got the tortillas here, tomato tacos. I'm just going to, I'm going to just let them peek out just so that you can see them. Obviously, you'd never do that at home. Tortilla etiquette.
Yes, we
no,
learned a bit about
you
that.
keep them hot, but look at those just peeping out there.
Now we need to do
Should we put them on there? Let's put them on
them on
there.
there.
The feast. Put some fresh limes. Look at that. I mean, come on, guys.
Come on, here we go. Are we getting that? Are we getting the shot? Is that on the overhead cam? How does that work? And there we go. Right, Tommy, come on, give us a quick recap. Our Mexican feast, our Oaxacan feast.
Okay, so we have got the wonderful Nino Blanco totopos with the red pipián.
Yes.
Chicatanas or not, this is sadly without ants, but it has got all those Mexican chilies and spices, the hoja santa, everything. It's delicious. Then we've got that really super light, citrusy fresh aguachile with blood oranges and fresh lime and
Can't wait to try
herbs. Delicious, palate cleansing, titillating. I can already feel that. So good. And then we've got our crispy broccoli. Just get it out of the oven now, ready to go. Squeeze some lime over it, dip it in the mayo, the tamari dressing. Sensational. The pièce de la resistance, the goat, that slow cooked goat. Look at it with the ancho relish and the creme fraiche from Neil's Yard, cabrito goat. So good. The soft tortillas, the slaw, extra limes. Make it yourself. It's so exciting. And then finally that flan. Put it in the freezer, get it set, and then serve it with that beautiful rhubarb and pomegranate.
Wow. Oh, Tommy, a round of applause.
Oh.
Congratulations. Amazing food. And thank you so much for joining us this evening and just, sort of pulling back the curtain on Oaxaca. It's been a delight to hear everything that you know about food, and wow, do you know so much. Thank you. And I can't wait, as I'm sure everyone at home, to start tucking into their food. So, tequila time. Yes, thank you everyone as ever for joining us tonight. We will return in 2 weeks' time. Come and discover Vietnam with us and that journey from Hoi An down to Ho Chi Minh City with myself and Chef Ryan Stafford. 2 weeks' time. I hope you guys are there. Please tell your friends and family all about us. And we better go because Tommy otherwise is going to eat everything and the crew are on standby to start lurching at all this delicious food. Thank you so much. See you soon. Goodbye.